everyone. When an equation x squared plus 2x plus 2 times cosine of theta equals 0 has two negative roots, we're going to find the range of the constant theta. So we're going to find the range. Now, it has two negative real roots. So let's let alpha and beta be the roots. And that would mean that my alpha is negative and then my beta is also negative. Now, by the nature or relationship between the roots and the coefficients, we have a quadratic here. So I know that my alpha plus my beta equals negative b over a. So let's write that down. My a is 1. My b is 2. And I'm writing down coefficients. And my constant c is 2 cosine of theta. So my alpha plus beta is just going to be negative b divided by 1. So that's just going to be negative 2. Now my alpha times beta is going to equal c divided by a. So that's just going to be 2 cosine of theta divided by 1. Now since these are both negative, and I'm multiplying negative times a negative here, this is going to end up being positive. All right. Now, let's also let d be the discriminant of the equation. So our discriminant, remember, is b squared minus 4ac. So for us, that's going to give us 2 squared minus 4 times 1. I'm not going to put the 1. And then we have 2 cosine of theta. All right. So I can factor out this 4. That's going to give me 1 minus 2 cosine of theta. And my discriminant is going to be greater than or equal to 0 before my roots. So this is going to be greater than or equal to 0. All right, and if you divide both sides by 4, you're going to get 1 minus 2 cosine of theta is greater than or equal to 0. Now let's solve for cosine of theta. Now that we have that, let's see, we're going to have negative 2 cosine of theta is greater than or equal to negative 1. You divide both sides of the equation by negative 2, you're going to have to flip this. So you're going to have cosine of theta is less than or equal to 1/2. Also, please note that this means that cosine of theta has to be greater than 0. And that's because when you have this right here, this one, let me do a different color, this one right here, this has to be greater than or equal to 0. So if cosine was smaller than 0, this would not be true, right? Because if this was, if cosine was 0, then you'd have 1 minus 2, which is negative 1, and so forth. You can test some values. So this is what we have. We have 0 is less than cosine of theta, and cosine is less than 1/2. And basically what this means is cosine has to be positive. Cosine has to be positive, but less than 1/2. So let's look on the unit circle where that happens. This is positive right here. And then it has to be greater than 0. So it's going to go from 0 to 90. So we can write the range is 0 degrees, but it can't equal 90 because that would be 0. So just do it exclusively like that. Now anywhere else, let's see. We have cosine 0 right here. And then we're going to 1/2 this way. So that's going to be equal to, that's going to be at 270 to 300. This one was at 60 to 90. So we're going to have 270 degrees is less than theta. And it can't equal it because that's at 0. But it can equal it at 300 degrees. And if you wanted to, you could use radians as well. All right, thank you. Have a nice day. Bye-bye.